Welcome to MFAA on Air.
One perfect business model for credit advisors is elusive. Different businesses and their various clients vary greatly across the industry. According to Gerard Hermens, Director at the Institute of Strategic Management, it's all about maximising the value of the customer, regardless of the scale of your business.
The business model is more about the scale of the business, and it's about how you might start. So to me, it's critical to blend the business model to what we teach as the life cycle of the customer. So we believe there are 4 critical life stages. One is the lead generation, which is before they are interested in a home loan, so they have a general awareness that they actually need to look for a home loan and assistance with that. The actual interview and the actual consultancy process, when you have an engaged conversation with a customer. The 3rd step is the pipeline and how the pipeline's managed, and the 4th step is the settlement stage when the loan's in place. And of course there's a need to maintain a relationship with the client. So with that in mind, the broker business model can be quite simple, but if you follow through all those 4 stages, you actually need support. So if a single broker is trying to run a one-person business, it gets quite complex because there are many things to it. What we find happens is that in these smaller models, the bits about the relationship get lost. In other words, we stop worrying about the client once the loan's settled, or we don't do so well in lead generation, or we slip up in the actual pipeline management. So you can see along the way, we can give great customer service, but we need to make sure that we're covering all of these stages. Well, that requires good people, good staffing, and good systems and structures. So if you think about it, a single person can only grow a business to a certain stage, and then things start to fall off. The trick is to put in place a much more structured process. So we talk a little bit about making sure that systematically in your company you structure it in a way that no one person is more important than the next. By that I mean, sometimes you've got to make sure that the relationship is owned by the broker firm rather than by the writer. So we would suggest that you think about a structure such as having a writer, a packager, a tracker, and a dialer. Now that's simple language for 4 different roles that make sure they all have an input into the relationship, they all form part of the relationship itself, but it's managing the customer for the life cycle. So the trick is to make sure that you do your transitioning from being small to being moderately sized, middle sized, to being a larger broker firm. Once you get to scale, then you are a more solid provider of financial services.
Gerard Hermens will be running an interactive session at the 2015 MFAA National Convention in May. Participants will explore how to create scale through operating leverage, the roles that should exist in a credit advisor business, the key drivers and processes that can achieve scales of economy and create success, and using benchmarks to create the perfect business model. To find out more, visit the National Convention website.
You've been watching MFAA on Air.